It is better to vote a non-living thing than to vote this caliber and quality of leaders that we are seeing now. The president of Nigeria is a retired general in the army. Yet, look at the insecurity going on in our country. The killings. Every day, killing has now become a tradition. What has the senators done to check this, apart from their talking about talking? Elective positions are now meant only for those who have stolen from the system. Who said that a qualified secondary or primary school teacher cannot be a senator if the people want him? Desperate politicians, they have scared, intimidated, and disenfranchised Nigerians away from elections. They arm the foolish Nigerians with guns to kill the same poor people like them because of their shared desperation for power. The persons holding Nigerians to ransom today, they are less than 10,000 people in population, in number. In an estimated 180 million people. We must stop them. How can about 10,000 people hold us to ransom? Senator Ike Ikweremandu, the Deputy Senate President, recently suggested that the army could take over any moment from now, just because some senators had issues with the law enforcement agencies. Once an issue concerns them, any one of them, they want Nigeria to be set ablaze, so that their dirty records will be obliterated. Like Saddam Hussein, they prefer to set the oil sites of Kuwait ablaze when the going gets tough. It is because of these rulers that Transparency International stated in its 2017 report that Nigeria has worsened in corruption. Because of them. Nigerian federal legislators, they use their ill-gotten positions to expose the rest of us to dangers of life, while they surround themselves with mobile policemen. Policemen who even carry the handbag of their wives. Between now and the next general elections, Nigerians must decide if we need this caliber of senators. They are even doing the same job with the members of the House of Representatives. Do we need a bicameral legislature? No! Nigerians must stop complaining on Facebook, WhatsApp, and on the street, when we already know who our enemies are. If you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not be afraid of the result of 100 battles. Most of your enemies as senators has depleted our earnings as a country. Because most of our earnings as a country are siphoned by the same rulers, and that is why we are not moving forward as a country. For example, the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation realized about $476 million from crude oil and gas exports in December 2017. In the same 2017, the Nigerian Customs Services recorded its highest revenue collection ever of over 1 trillion naira just in 12 months. Where is the money? In the same 2017, the Nigerian Post Authority declared a sum of 299.56 billion naira as revenue just in 12 months. These are just few examples. Where is the money? In the midst of all these, we are now the African giant of borrowers that keep talking about recovered loot, which we never see. Most of these monies are more than what we can use to better our country. But most of them are spent on salaries of federal legislators, ministers, and governors. A federal legislator that will buy cooking gas and frying pan for women to fry akara, and they call it empowerment project. A legislator that will buy wheelbarrow for youths to push load in the market, and they call it empowerment. A federal legislator that will construct substandard constituency projects, and they will write on it, to God be the glory. Are they mocking us or they are mocking God? A legislator that starts to make donations and use the opportunity to campaign for the next election as if they have done you a favor. How many legislators genuinely empower people monthly with what they are earning monthly? So what is the change President Buhari and others are singing about? Is Buhari afraid of these legislators? Now that the ruling party has the highest number of legislators in Nigeria, where is the manifestation of the change mantra? Where is the journey and destination of this change? Is President Buhari afraid that he will be impeached if he takes action against the earnings of the federal legislators? This is sheer broad day robbery. Broad daylight. This is broad daylight robbery. Ironically, our president has just offered to assist the government of Ghana to fight corruption. Abba. It is unconstitutional that their collective actions is putting us in this situation, and it must be treated as criminal offenses. They must be subjected to the law. What is law? If it is being made by looters of the treasury. What is law if it cannot be respected? What is law if some persons are above the law and others under the law? If there is a case that must be taken to the international court, this is one of them. And our coalition will surely get there. You'll be ashamed and you'll be booed. The federal legislators, they have started doing a project of image laundry, just to further confuse Nigerians about their ineffectiveness. Is the problem about your image? The problem is that your huge monthly earnings, which you are located to yourselves, is destroying our country. You are embarking on another new project, image laundry. You are saying that the legislators the legislature is the most widely misunderstood institution in Nigeria. It's a lie. We know. There's no misunderstanding about it. The problem is your salaries. Whoever is responsible for releasing these huge amounts of money to the legislators is equally an accomplice to crime. Can Kemi Adeosun, the Nigerian finance minister, tell Nigerians that she's not aware that the legislators are receiving this illegality? Was it an agreement between you and them before they approved you as a minister, before they approved your nomination as a minister, that you must not probe their illegal earnings? If that is the truth, speak out. Let Nigerians hear you. Nigerians are behind you. Can Abubakar Malami, the Attorney General of Nigeria, tell Nigerians that it's not aware about what the legislators are receiving, that it is illegal? Was it an agreement between you and them before they approved your nomination as Attorney General, that you must not probe their illegal earnings? Speak out. Nigerians, we hear you, and we are behind you. Can the Nigerian Labour Congress, who ought to represent the voice of the Nigerian worker, tell Nigerians that they are not aware about what the legislators are looting monthly? Was it an agreement between you and them before some of them supported you, that you must not probe their illegal earnings? For how long will Monkey continue to work for Bamboo to chop? Can Ibrahim Magu, chairman of EFCC, tell Nigerians that it's not aware that what the legislators are receiving is illegal? They intimidated you by putting you in a psychological fix. That is why they did not approve your nomination. But you are recognized, and Nigerians are solidly behind you. They fear that you may turn around and probe them, because you already told them that you will build a prison for them in Sambisa Forest. That is where they deserve to be. Ibrahim Magu, arise. Be our hero or be a coward forever. What is the Nigerian Bar Association and the National Judicial Council doing about the unconstitutional earnings of the federal legislators? It is not enough to argue about it during seminars. Take action. How? Just embark on civil disobedience through strike actions It is legal. Close the courts till the legislators stop receiving such bogus salaries and until they refund everything that they have stolen from us. Each and every one of them must refund every kobo. The legislators have no moral standing to probe the finances of other offices when their hands are soiled. If the finance minister, the attorney general of Nigeria, the chairman of EFCC, the Nigerian Bar Association, the National Judicial Council, and the Nigerian Labour Congress continue to be silent, then you are consciously undermining the principles of check and balances, which ought to be an imperative element of your job, and the so-called change mantra, which is almost turning us deaf. This change is suffocating us. The same people we saw in PDP, they have all crossed to APC. So what is the difference? They are mocking us as a people. They lack political ideology. That is why you see them jumping from one party to another. They only go to political parties that could further enhance their selfish political interests. And their mumus will just join them to cross carpet. One person will cross to one party, other Nigerians, like 1,000, will just follow the person. Don't you have your own political ideologies? Stop being used. What is the value of the eloquent speeches of Senator Ben Bruce, as if he's complaining about a system, which in fact is part of the causes of the problems? As long as you all seize such monies from Nigerians monthly, anything you say in the legislative chamber amounts to nothing. After looting the state, a governor will receive pension for life. Meanwhile, states are struggling to pay salaries. Very soon, you will pass a law that senators should equally receive pension for life. If there must be any form of pension for a former Nigerian president and governor, Nigeria should hold a referendum and vote about it. Just the way we need a referendum to decide whether we need a bicameral legislature in Nigeria or a unicameral one. We don't need House of Reps and senators. We need just one. And of course, we can predict that 95% of Nigerians will not accept this. The political positions, they are called for service, not called to disservice and to impoverish Nigerians. You are lawmakers, but you allow a former military head of state who came to power through coup and the barrel of the gun against all democratic standard to receive pension for life. Some of them were there in power for between 4 or 8 years maximum, enjoying the perk of office, looting. But Nigerians that have served for 35 years, they die under the sun, standing in the queue, waiting for their meager monthly stipends. This cannot continue. It's not fair. We don't intend to insult anybody, but some people need to be insulted. Some senators claim to be God-fearing and patriotic. If this is so, stop receiving what you are receiving now. There must be an internal cleansing. You are lawmakers, yes, but the truth is that you are lawbreakers. What does the law say under the Code of Conduct Bureau, Section 2A of the CCB law, which provides that a public officer shall not receive or be paid the emoluments of any public office at the same time as he receives or is paid emolument of another public office. But today, an ex-governor will receive one and he will now come to the Senate to receive another. Some even receive a third one as retired army officers. Section 4B of the law states that a public officer shall not, after his retirement from public service and while receiving pension from public fund, receive any other remuneration from public funds in addition to his pension and the emolument of such one remunerative position. It is also forbidden under paragraph 2 of Article 8 of the UN Convention Against Corruption for public officials to engage in self-dealing or illicitly providing him as emoluments that are unacceptable under international law. Nigeria is a party to that convention, and what our federal legislators are receiving now is equally against international law. Based on the above anomalies, we, members of the Nigerian Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, recommend as follows. 1. Nigerians must ask these legislators to refund what they surreptitiously received as earnings since they came into office. 2. Nigerian lawmakers must begin to receive salaries as stipulated under the law. The Attorney General of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must take all legal steps in ensuring this. This coalition has just written a letter to the Attorney General of Nigeria about this topic. Number 3, Nigerians must ask their senators to show them their annual constituency project measured in line with the amount that they have been receiving from the government. Be a whistleblower if what your legislators are showing you are not commensurate with what was budgeted. Number 4, Nigerians must stop demanding money from legislators whenever they meet with them. You are pushing them into crime, into the crime of looting. We already know that they are looters, but by asking money from them, you are pushing them to be more looters. You cannot be asking your legislator to pay the hospital bills of your wife that just delivered at the hospital. Your wife gave you 9 months' notice before the baby came. When you demand from them, you know what you are doing? Your strength to challenge them becomes weak. Therefore, whenever they falter, you cannot talk. Forget instant gratification that will enslave you for 4 years. Number 5, developed countries must issue ban on Nigerian legislators who continue to commit this crime of corruption against humanity. Their corrupt practices infringe on our human rights as a people. And what they do is that they shift the money abroad in different ways. That is money laundering too. Number 6, this coalition will do a project that will compile the houses owned by Nigerian politicians in Europe. We shall comb every city and village in Europe. The data here, they do not lie. We shall publish the names, addresses, and photographs of such assets at the appropriate time. We shall also compile the names and photographs of your children schooling abroad. The names of their schools, how much they pay as tuition fee, including the cost and photographs of where they live. Your children will have no privacy as long as you have decided to put our monies in your private pockets. We will not allow your wives and children to inherit our commonwealth. We call on the EFCC to have a desk in every ministry, parastatals, from local to federal level, so that whenever somebody is signing money, the EFCC should even be a witness to them. Because sometimes the greatest problem we have as a country is that the difference, the gap between the budget and the final implementation of projects are too wide. The gap is too wide. You make a budget, but what you see on ground at the end of the day. So what is bringing about the gap? Number 8, all constituency projects must be implemented by the designated agencies of federal government. We have Ministry of Works in every state. Must legislators be contractors? Number 9, we refuse that our politicians and other government officials should have personal police protection. It is the primary purpose of government to provide security for our citizens. Since you have refused to provide adequate public security, therefore, you should be able to enjoy that insecurity with us. Enjoy, in quote. Number 10, all agencies, associations, non-governmental organizations, and the generality of Nigerians must immediately begin all necessary actions for a referendum, whether we need a bicameral legislature or not. This must be done before the next election. Number 11, we have information that some communities have started booing their federal legislators and their other office holders because they are wasteful politicians. We could even hear the echo of what they are singing in our ears. Senator only, House of Reps only, Minister only, Governor only. We hear it clearly. We hear the song. We must not stop them from singing. Our people shall boo and boot you out. Nigerians from all walks of life should quickly connect to our movement now, or any other similar movement in Nigeria. We refuse to be economically enslaved by this set of politicians forever. God forbid. Connect to our monthly videos. Connect to this channel. Know what is happening, because by next month, 15th of May, we are declaring a revolution in Nigeria. It is a revolution without ammunition towards a second Nigerian independence. Because we are going to say no. We are going to say no to corruption. We are going to say no to rigging. We are going to say no to godfatherism. We are going to say no to anything that has held us down as a country. We are going to say no in the lack of electricity supply, no to inadequate health care facilities, no to politicians who travel abroad for health care, no to delay in the payment of salaries and pensions, no to budget padding, no to the detention of Nigerians without trial, no to those that continue to undermine our voices as a people. We are going to say no to recycled leaders. We are going to say no to indiscriminate allocation of oil blocks, no to VIP treatment of some Nigerians in prison, no to continue environmental degradation. We are going to say no to life pension for ex-governors and ex-presidents, no to some religious leaders that have led us astray, no to state electoral commissions inaugurated and manipulated by state governors. We are set to say no. And no to whatever has held us down as a people. We are set to reclaim our commonwealth. We reclaim our commonwealth. Our commonwealth is Nigeria. We reclaim Nigeria. Enough is enough. We use this opportunity to congratulate Senator Shehu Sani for their common courage in disclosing some of the earnings of Nigerian senators. On the 4th of September 2015, he equally became the first and only Nigerian senator to declare his assets publicly. However, Sani, you must not stop there. Since you agreed with all Nigerians that what you are receiving is outrageous, you must stop receiving that money henceforth. Let us assume that you will now instruct the office responsible for your monthly payment that they should cease to pay you this money. You should only receive what is within the law, not what senators voted for themselves. We also wish to congratulate Charles Oputa, a.k.a. Charlie Boy, and his team for the Our Mumu Don't Do project. We're interested in what you are doing, sir. We must win this second independence. Nigeria must be free. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will not end my statement by saying God bless Nigeria as we usually do, because God has already blessed Nigeria as a people and as a country. But we have refused for too long to claim it as a people. Rather, I will ask God in His infinite grace and mercy that He should grant us wisdom as a country. Amen.